Welcome to the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. We're streaming live on all social media platforms and podcast streaming channels. Get ready for a revelatory teaching from our apostle, Matthew Tillery.
Well, greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. Listen, I am your host tonight, Matt Tillery, and I greatly appreciate you on tonight. What a great night to be alive, right? Amen. So we just thank God for you. Listen, if you're over on social media, go ahead and hit the share button, particularly over on Facebook. If you could share it, I would greatly appreciate it. And to those of you that's over on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the ML Tillery Outreach. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Listen, we're going to dive into this conversation tonight. It's going to really be a great conversation tonight. Just really looking forward to it. Some exciting things are happening in our region, and I'm just excited to be a part of it, if you will. So tonight we have OIC here in the city of Rocky Mount Workforce Development Team, and tonight standing with me now is Mr. Greg Singleton. He's the Dean of Academic Programs with the OIC here in our great city of Rocky Mount. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the podcast tonight.
It is a pleasure. I appreciate the invitation. A handsome one at that.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. So listen, let's go ahead and jump right into the conversation tonight. First of all, what is your role at OIC? What do you do? I know you do a lot. I can tell that you do a lot, but kind of break it down in terms of what is your job at OIC?
At the end of the day, my job and my role is to ensure success. When one is looking for employment, to ensure that they have a correct path of getting there. But nothing can be done without a team to do it with. So I will go with our motto in short terms is our mission is putting people in the space of being successful. So our motto at OIC is helping people help themselves. So we do it through educational programming. We have a plethora of conversations about health because health is very important.
Right.
So my overall mission is to ensure success at OIC and our career services team.
Well, I know it's going to be successful, and I'm going to tell you why, because you said something very important that a lot of folk don't really talk about, and that's a team. You talked about that team. That's very important. What would you say to those that say, I'm a one-man band, I can do it all by myself? What would you say to that?
Well, one thing that we know that's inevitable, and that is death. Right? So if you're a one-man band, what happens when you move on?
Right,
because that's
right.
the inevitable. So
right.
I say that a team is better because you have more of a united front.
Right.
You have more diversity at the table with more people thinking in a path that you may not have.
Right. So
yes, the team and the OIC team of Rocky Mount and Career Services, they're the bread and butter of our success.
So let's give them a hand clap.
I appreciate it.
Listen, your work here in Rocky Mount, you all are making a tremendous impact, in not just in Rocky Mount, not just here in the local city, but Rocky Mount and beyond. You all are making a spectacular impact in the community with the programs and initiatives that you lead. How important is that?
Options, and knowing that educational options are reachable and obtainable. You know, that's the challenge. If you think, even rewind back in history,
right,
the one thing that they made sure that they kept away from us was education.
Right, right.
Because education is the cure to poverty.
Right.
Is the cure to the reduction of prison recidivism.
Right.
So this work is imperative as we look. So the work of OIC has expanded. I've been with OIC a year and a month.
Wow.
Today.
Congratulations.
It's been a ride because since that time we have expanded in 7 other different counties outside of Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson.
Right.
And, good work spreads fast, just like bad news spread fast.
Right. Right.
But in this work, we've been a part of the Hertford Burt T. Gates St. Juan Local Reentry Council, which is opening up opportunities for those that's returning from prison and jail.
Right.
So to your question, how important is this work? We're talking about reduction of prison recidivism.
Right.
And if you look in a lot of those, through those prison windows, there's a lot of black and brown people there.
Yeah, tell us about some of the programs that you all have.
Okay, plethora. But we've been blessed to we are working on 2 federal grants with the United States Department of Labor now, and that's called Pathway Home 5, where we work with those that are justice involved, that are actually residents, incarcerated.
Right.
We work with them on the pre-side of their incarceration, and we stay connected with them on their post. So when they get out, we still there to provide them services and programming that lead them to a path of employment. The second one we have is called Growth Opportunities. That factors in between the ages of 18 and 24, more so on our youth side.
Yeah, you all have anything for 68 and above?
Oh, yes, sir. We got something for you. We got advanced manufacturing. We got carpentry. I mean, what you need. And the one thing, that's very important when we are looking at one who is trying to get into the workforce, it's imperative that we meet them where they are.
Right.
And you know what I mean by that
that's
is,
powerful.
but it's a discipline.
Right. Right.
Because we have a tendency to want to hook somebody up with an opportunity. Well, we can be hooking them up into an opportunity that's not for them.
Right.
So one of the things that we make sure we do at OIC is focus on what that individual wants to do.
Right.
How, where is that individual strong at?
Right. Yeah, North Carolina is facing a lot of shortages, particularly in the health and construction field. So how are you all addressing those challenges?
Well, the health. When I first got, became intimately acquainted with OIC of Rocky Mount, I learned that there's 7 healthcare clinics. As Mr. Reuben Blackwell would say, these healthcare clinics, we're not afraid to go into dark spaces. And what he meant by those dark spaces where transportation is a barrier.
Right.
It's hard to get to good transportation. That's why Medicare expansion is so important.
Right.
To poor people.
Right.
Or those that are lack thereof.
Right.
So we are in the process, I hope I'm not leaking anything too soon, but the project that we're working on in Rose Street, where we're going to be focusing on those with mental health problems.
Right.
That's, if you look at those that are incarcerated, if you tap into your county, you're going to find out that 80 to 85% of the people that are sentenced at a county level either has a mental health or a substance abuse problem. And then right above that, we're going to have career services.
Oh, wow.
Because when you talk about economics, you're talking about having a strong and vibrant workforce.
Right.
Right. So that's what we're doing. We're putting people in that path to be able to get into the field that they want to get in for gainful employment. Our forklift and OSHA class.
Right.
We're doing it in a combination, but we're doing it in a collaboration, because the food bank is a part of that, to make sure that people are eating healthy while they're on these job sites, so they don't have a whole lot of call-ins because they're sick.
Right. Wow. Well, it sounds like you all, not just sound, you have receipts, but you all are doing some amazing work over there. And I'm just excited to know that we have an entity here in our city that's doing great things, not just here, but outside of Rocky Mount, in terms of getting people employed that other folk probably, turn them down and so forth and so on. I had a guy that actually graduated from one of the courses at OIC, and he went on to got employed, and now he's the manager of an apartment complex. So this guy, unemployed, living in a car.
Come on.
That type of stuff. So you can't tell me what you all are doing. I mean, stories like that we need to hit, right. People need to know that what OIC is doing in the city and beyond is amazing. This guy living in a car. Come on now.
All he needed was an opportunity and some options. And we have these things that get in the way called barriers. Right?
Right.
And when you look at someone living in a car, housing is a barrier. But I go even a little deeper. Who's going to rent to him?
Right. And now he owns his home.
Come on now. So again, what God,
I'm sorry.
what God has
Church-
for you.
I felt a church moment.
Yeah, this is God's plan. I mean, so here's the deal. And what empowers me personally as a justice-involved person, right? And that's not a braggadocio, it's just a fact.
Right.
Is that if I'm given an opportunity,
Right.
a second chance,
Right. Right.
right? And regardless of what that looks like, that's an opportunity.
Right.
And that's an opportunity to thrive.
Right.
And that's how I understood the relevance of OIC of Rocky Mount. I did not at first.
Right. Right.
You know, I didn't because, I mean, I'm a year and a month in.
Right.
But when I first learned of it, I was walking down a hall. And, you know, I'm a kid from Harlem, New York, right? And I lived in Atlanta.
Right.
But I'm walking down a hall and I see Michelle and Barack Obama. But I'm not saying anything, Apostle. I'm just observing.
Right.
And then I'm seeing Duke Ellington. And I'm going a little further. I'm seeing things that I don't typically see.
Right. Right.
But it gave me comfort.
Right. Right.
And that's how I understood the relevancy of OIC.
Right.
It gives a person comfort when you are trying to get your opportunity. You know, not a hand, we don't want a hand out. We want a hand up.
Right.
And that's what I have genuinely seen that take place with individuals that come in. I mean, I see cats that still got their prison clothes on
Right. Right.
at OIC,
Wow.
wanting an opportunity.
Wow.
Now imagine if that person showed up at the community college with their prison clothes on.
Security.
It may be different.
Where are you at? Security.
You understand? So yeah, I'm in the real. I'm in the God space right now. So the work we do is a ministry, whether you believe in God or not.
Right. Right.
Because we can minister to somebody.
Yeah, because
without-
ministry simply means to serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what you all are doing.
Absolutely.
You are serving the community and beyond.
And beyond.
That's ministry.
And
A minister is nothing but somebody who serves, right?
So as you said at the beginning, you really grasp that this is a team concept. This is no one pony show.
Right.
And as I talked about the work that is happening in Hertford, Bertie, Gates, Central Warren County,
Right.
we have built from ground zero the local reentry council in all 4 of those counties.
Wow.
Now, it's only 1.5 people in North Carolina that I can say that I know have built the local reentry council from ground zero.
Wow.
But for OIC of Rocky Mount to be bold, to be the intermediary agency for a county where they're not even at,
Right.
is the desire to extend. But it takes a willing team to learn something new.
Right.
And in learning how to develop and build a local reentry council,
Right.
it takes a willing heart
Right.
and somebody that you can coach.
Right. Right.
And so that was my concern coming into OIC was, could I present myself as a leader to coach
Right.
about reentry councils and the impact of it? And when I met the next person that's getting ready to come on, Miss Shanithia Mabry, she was coachable.
Wow.
And she had a heart.
She doesn't look coachable.
Oh, trust me.
I'm just kidding.
When we was coming back from those local county commissioner meetings and returning back to Rocky Mount late at night.
Right.
And I don't know if you've been down Burt T, Chawan, Gate. Those roads dark,
yeah,
my brother.
Yeah, it's dark down there.
But she understood the purpose and the lives that we was going to impact.
Right.
And I can say now comfortably that she can go into just about any county and develop and build a local reentry council from what we've done in Hertford, Bertie, Gates, and Chawan.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, you know.
That's empowerment.
This is about spreading the thing.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm blessed that God chose me
Right.
to be the person to share this with
Right.
that is empowering people, because it's not about me.
Right.
I'm
right.
just humbled that God selected me to be a part of this ministry.
Right.
And so, you know, I want to bring Miss Mabry on so she can go in deeper about the work in developing a reentry council and the lives that we have been able to touch from OIC of Rocky Mount in this endeavor.
Sounds great.
Miss Mabry.
Listen, we're here with the OIC team tonight on the Advancing the Kingdom podcast, and we're excited with all this information that we're getting. So listen, you can go to OIC website here in the city of Rocky Mount, and you can check and go up there and see what they're doing. And they're doing some amazing things. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Such a pleasure, Apostle.
Yeah, it is one question that I wanted to hit, justice reform. What does that mean to the person that's watching this podcast tonight?
When I say that, it's, any individual that comes in that is suffering with, I'm going to say, going through any different barrier. And those different barriers could be transportation, employment, it could be childcare, it could be food, it could be anything that they're needing,
Right.
From us
Right.
at OIC or Rocky Mount that we can be able to provide.
Right. So where do you see the greatest opportunities for reentry and career success?
Where do I see? That's anyone that comes in that want to do better, right? Because there is a lot of employers. When I say that, a lot of employers want people that they can be able to have that's already trained. And what OIC or Rocky Mount does, we provide that soft skills, we provide that education before they go on the work site. We prepare them and we teach them everything that they need to know. So that has to do with a lot of that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So how excited, and you seem to be very excited about what you're doing, because once again, I was telling Greg, it's a ministry that so.
It is. When I first came to OIC, because I've been with OIC for 7 years. So when I first came to OIC, OIC filled the gap because the previous program that I was actually, managing, it was just providing housing, transportation, and all those different things. But the gap was the education and training.
Right.
And see, I'm born and raised from Edgecombe County. So OIC, I told Mr. Blackwell, I remember telling him, I'm going to work for OIC one day.
Right.
And for that organization to be in Edgecombe County for 50-some years, I know I had to be there.
Wow.
I had to be a part of it.
Wow.
You know.
So you saw what they were doing.
Yes.
And you say, look, I see this OIC is very successful in terms of what they are doing in the community. You say, oh, I want to be a part of that because they're doing some amazing things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. So tell us a little about your background, if you will.
Okay. So born and raised.
I know we got to took the cart way out there and we come and bring it back.
Like I said, I've been with OIC for 7 years, but when I came, I had started off as a program manager.
Right.
And when I came as a program manager, during the years that passed by, I had the opportunity to manage one program, reentry program.
Right.
And it started off with 1 and then 3. And then it kept going. And then I moved into director, reentry of director.
Right.
Then after that, becoming under Mr. Singleton's leadership, I ended up becoming director of reentry and operations.
So under his leadership, you got promoted, right?
Yes.
That says something about him. He must be a great leader.
Yes. So it happened so fast. But I had a chance to learn about the whole department, not just focusing on reentry, but the underemployed, unemployed, and justice involved individuals.
So what have you learned about supporting individuals who are part of the justice involved?
When it comes down to serving individuals who are justice involved, you gotta build that trust.
Right.
That's number one. You can't just come out and you got to understand what their barriers are, what they're coming in. You got to be patient.
Right.
You got to meet them where they are, because that's important. Because it could be someone that, we're offering trainings or anything like that for them, but what if they have an issue, with housing?
Right.
We want to take care of those things before we even put them into their training. So we want to make sure that we're covering everything,
Right.
not just particular things.
Yeah, because if you're hungry, nowhere to live, it's going to be hard to come
Absolutely.
sit in a classroom and hear somebody, teaching a class all day when you're hungry,
Right.
you don't have nowhere to live.
Right.
So I think that's a terrific approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so keep doing
Thank you.
what you all are doing. Can you share any success stories?
Yes, absolutely. I remember one individual coming in. He did 13 years in prison. And when he came in every single day. And we went over the process with him that, you have to go through the soft skills, the soft skills, you got to go through the training, and then that's where your employment assistant comes in.
Right.
But one of the things that he did, he came in at the right time. It was one of our partners that was actually in my office one day, and he needed a transportation driver.
Right.
And to take people back and forth, take, the residents in his transitional house
Right.
back and forth to Purdue. And he was available at the right time. He hired him on the spot.
Wow.
After hiring him on the spot, guess what happened? He ended up giving him another role as a house manager.
Wow.
After that, guess what happened? He ended up starting his own transitional house.
Look at
He's
that.
on his second transitional house.
Look at there.
And he has his own transportation business.
Most people just need a chance, an opportunity.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty much it. But a lot of times they don't get that.
Right.
They look at what has happened and say, "Oh, you're no longer valued." Even God doesn't dispose of anyone.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And if we're gonna preach about second chances, and I know I had more than 1, 2. I can't count the number of chances I had, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and a lot of us done some stuff we just didn't get caught. If we really
That
want to
part.
talk about truth tonight,
Yeah.
right? So let me talk to you all for a while. So we haven't always been. We've done some stuff that in our past that if we could have been in the same situation. So I'm grateful for my friend Mr. Reuben Blackwell being able, or rather having the mindset, having the heart, because you have to have a heart for that,
Yes.
for people, right?
Yes.
And I do believe that he certainly has a heartbeat for people, and that's great. So
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well,
All right.
Bring in the next one.
so yeah, academic development for students. Let's talk about that for a second. Can we do that? Oh, come on up. What you want? Come on up, Greg. Share whatever you want to share.
Well, I want to point something out that you're going to see that you've seen with Miss Mabry as well as with Miss Sauda, who's coming up. Because I've only been there for a year and a month, it was a matter of finding the right person and putting them in the right seat.
Right.
And because I'm kind of old school, I was always taught when you come into a new organization and you don't know as much, do an audit.
Right.
I mean, just pull everybody's resume and spend several days just going through and finding skill sets.
Right.
Of course, after meeting with each individual, finding out where they want to go with their goals and times.
Right.
So I was looking, Miss Mabry had brought a resume to me that I had already pulled and was looking at.
Wow.
Because I needed someone to help strengthen our academia,
Right.
our programming, what the classroom look like, how can we improve our classroom settings, our classroom instructors. It's not a matter of just doing great work.
Right.
It's perfecting it. And I'm a perfectionist. So when I was looking at this one resume, and this person had attended Meredith College and all of this academia, and I said, who is this person? And where is she at? And this is a true story. And so Miss Mabry said, oh, that's Miss Sauda, da-da-da. I said, well, I want to meet her. I want to sit down and talk with her.
Right.
And when she came in, it was a comfort about her.
Right.
Okay, because looks matter,
Right.
And we pay attention if somebody is disheveled looking or if their eyes are glossed. You know, we
Yeah.
pay attention.
Like I'm looking tonight.
No, I mean, no, I'm not going there, Apostle.
I'm just-
But she came in and it was a warmth about her.
Right.
And as I got to know her, I hope she don't mind me sharing. She was working in our WIOA with, another department
Right.
with dislocated workers and things
Right.
of that nature. But when I sat and talked with her, and I'm looking for someone to work in the academic,
Wow.
she always wanted to be a teacher.
Wow.
Now, she's working in WIOA, which is not a teacher,
Right.
but she's always wanted to work in academics, but be lifing.
Right. Right.
And she became the caregiver for her parents.
Wow.
Therefore, she was not able to achieve her dreams
Right.
of what she wanted to do.
Right.
And when I was able to share with her what kind of the system I wanted to put in place, it was so perfect for her.
Wow.
And when I tell you she hit the ground running,
She wasn't playing, was she?
oh my! No, I'm serious. So it's not about me; it's the team.
Right. Right.
And she came in. She was identifying some corrections we need because we want to move into a credential space.
Right.
And Miss Sauda has really, really. Not only can she make the best collard greens on this side of Eastern North Carolina, but she's a passionate person about career development and what the classroom look like, what it feels like,
Right.
how's the instruction piece. So when you talk about academics, she's the one that we're going to bring before you to share about academics. And again, I wanted to come in and bring her in appropriately.
Right.
Because it is the heartbeat of what OIC Career Services is about.
Right. Right.
Are we giving you a tool
Right. Right.
that you receive
Right.
and that you can apply to everyday life?
Right.
So Ms. Sauda is a very important part of that, and I would love for you to have some dialogue with Ms. Sauda.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having us.
So the first question is, when are you going to cook some more collards?
Listen, I have a schedule for college. You can get on my schedule.
All right, put me up there. It may be next year, but just go ahead and dot me in. Listen, so tell us about how you first got connected with OIC in Rocky Mount.
Wow. Okay.
What's your story?
My story. I have always been a learner.
Right.
I have either been a student or a facilitator. I always tell people I started working with children because that was my first love, working with youth.
Right.
When I was considered a youth, I was 17 years of age.
Wow.
And I always found an opportunity to work around and with young people.
Right.
As I went through life, I started looking at different opportunities, and I found that I needed more education to do what it was that I wanted to do.
Right. Right.
And so I pursued that. Around 1999, because prior to 99, I was working with a domestic violence shelter.
Right.
And, of course, was working with the children
Right.
there. Around 1999, this yearning that I had
Yes.
wouldn't let me go.
Yeah, that was a passion. There.
That's a passion. It wouldn't let me go. It wouldn't let me sleep, And so I started looking for opportunities. And I always believed that God led me to the OIC because I actually was in a place where I was helping other people find jobs, and this job popped up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I looked at it, and I said, And I did what protocol dictated. I went to my ED, and I said, I have found this position.
Wow.
And I didn't know that my ED was friends with the person who was over the department that I wanted to go. And she put a good word in for me. And she said, if this is where your heart is, then this is where I want you to be.
Right.
And so I went just before Hurricane Floyd hit.
Wow.
I've been with the OIC for 26 years.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. I said to someone, I believe if you cut me, I'll bleed OIC. I have found a place for my passion
Right.
there. OIC provided the unique culture
Right.
and environment that allowed me to flourish
Right.
where I couldn't find any place else.
Right.
So I belong with the OIC.
Well, something happened in your life that a lot of folk never get to experience, and that's allowing that thing that drives them, their passion, right?
Yes.
To be working in the thing that you have a passion for.
Yes.
Just don't
yes.
happen a lot in life.
It doesn't, and I am so blessed to have been given that opportunity.
Yeah. So who is the typical student you're hoping to serve through the OIC program?
I am 20 to 270 days pre-release from prison.
Wow.
I haven't been in my community for years. I don't know what's going on there.
Wow.
I need help navigating that system.
Wow.
I am a single mom, struggling.
Wow.
I have a job, but it doesn't pay all of my bills.
Wow.
I am underemployed. I need assistance in shoring up my skills so that I can get a better position so that I can take care of my family.
Wow.
I am a young man and a young woman who, for whatever reason, dropped out of high school.
Wow.
And I have gone out into the community and I've tried to make my way, and I found that I need a high school diploma.
Wow.
I am a person who has worked, and I have put in years at my company, and now I'm laid off.
Wow.
So I have to come back and find another pathway to employment.
Wow.
This is the profile.
Right.
These are the people we see every day who come in and out of the OIC. And although their stories sound the same, they're nuanced
Right. Right.
because each person has his or her own history that makes that person's need unique.
Right.
So we can't apply a cookie cutter application to that person
Right.
because we have to look at where the person is, where they come from, give them a chance to tell their stories,
Right.
so that we can better understand
Wow.
what the needs are. And
Wow.
then we will know which way to direct that person. This is the profile, and there are many more,
Right,
many more.
right.
People in the community know the OIC,
Wow.
and they know what we are able to do. We empower, and we do it by shoring up the skills that people have. And if they don't have the skills, then we provide an avenue
Right.
for those skills.
Yeah. And you kind of hit on some of it, but what are some more preparations that you all do in terms of developing men and women for the workplace?
So the OIC does something very well, and that is network with employers.
Wow.
We do that well. And we've had lots of conversations with lots of employers. And the one thing that is consistent across all conversations is that we do not have time to teach soft skills.
Wow.
We will train you for your job. We will train you for the hard skills, but we need for you to hit the ground running.
Wow.
That is what we need.
Right.
So in addition to the pathway classes that the OIC provides, we also provide an excellent boot camp. We call it a boot camp.
Right.
We're talking about those skills that some people, and I don't like hearing people say, well, it's common sense. You should know to do this. Well, it's not common sense.
Right.
These things have to be taught.
Right.
How to come to work on time.
Right.
How to deal with conflict
Right.
in your workplace. How to have conversations
Right.
without sounding antagonistic. Just simple things, simple things. This is what employers have shared with us that is very important
Right.
to them. So we have put this boot camp in place to address these concerns.
Right.
And I think that's one of the most important
Yeah.
aspects of what we do in training.
Yeah, that's powerful. Are there any new initiatives or program expansions?
Well, I think Mr. Singleton kind of hit on that just a little bit. One of the newer things that we're doing is our forklift OSHA 10 training. And this is something that this is what I call high impact, and it's quick because, you know, a lot of times people don't have a lot of staying power when it comes to a classroom.
Right.
So this is a high impact class, but it's quick. We're talking 5 days. We're talking 2 days of OSHA 10 training and 3 days of forklift training. You come out of that 5-day class experience with your OSHA 10 certification and a forklift certification. So that's one of the newer initiatives that we have paired with the food bank of Eastern and Central Carolina.
Right.
And so we're talking about, health and food, nutrition and all with those same students.
Right. Yeah, powerful, awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share tonight before we bring Greg back on?
Well, I would just like to share that the OIC's mission of empowering is not a new thing.
Right.
OIC has been doing this for many, many, many years. OIC was born under that umbrella to empower. And we have held true to that. I wasn't there in the 60s when it all started,
Right.
but I've read about it, I understand it, and it is applicable still today. It is relevant. And I think above all that we need to understand, I hope that we will understand that the OIC is true to its mission.
Right. Yeah. Well, you certainly have a great leader there with Mr. Blackwell.
No doubt.
He's a trailblazer, innovator, doing some great things.
Yes.
So I can see the effect that your top and it just comes down, right?
Yes, it does.
So
That's a true trickle down.
right there you go. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I told you.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
I told you.
Powerful stuff. Yeah, is there anything else you want to share tonight, Greg, before we close it out? I appreciate you, too, coming on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I would be remiss if I did not give a degree of disclosure as to why this work means so much to me personally. And why it's important to me as an individual that we thrive at OIC of Rocky Mount. I was interviewed today by a gentleman by the name of Tony Lowden, Lowden. He was the first appointed reentry czar, appointed into the White House.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. He asked me a very profound question. He didn't throw me off my rocker, but it was one of those questions that I wouldn't have been prepared to answer
Right.
if he had asked me 4 years ago.
Right.
And the question was, the work that I do, why? If somebody was to say, who is Greg Singleton and kind of why? What is my purpose?
Right.
As I share with you in a roundabout way that I am justice involved.
Right.
And there was serious justice involved. I did 5 years in federal prison. First time nonviolent offense during the time that it was a war on drugs.
Right.
And what we saw populating our prison system were black and brown people.
Right.
After being a commissioned officer, a graduate from Fayetteville State University, this happened to me so young.
Right.
And I thought that life was over.
Right.
To have a felony.
Right.
And today it was asked to me, my why factor, and what drove me to this work. And I gave a scenario of watching Prime Video. There's the movie House of David.
Right.
And I pointed out that David was born in a fashion that was not received
Right.
because of how his mother.
Right.
He was a shepherd that just so happened he could sing.
Right.
And he was able to, through song, soothe the king.
Right.
David was either crazy or brave, or crazy and brave, or
Right.
to go and pick up those needed stones
Right.
to defeat Goliath.
Right.
Well, when I used to hear the story and I grew up in the church,
Right.
I only had to imagine what Goliath looked like.
Right.
But the movie on video, Prime Video, gave that a visual for me, and I was like, man, this guy's huge.
Right.
Why David?
Right.
Why Greg Singleton?
Right. Right.
Because we was chosen, just
Right.
like you're chosen for a purpose.
Right.
So I believe that in my understanding of why OIC of Rocky Mount,
Right.
because it was chosen to do this particular work. So if you look at OIC of Rocky Mount, which was birthed in Rocky Mount, 1969, they've been welcoming the justice involved population since that time.
Wow.
It's now fashionable.
Right.
Everybody's talking about reentry, but they've been doing it,
Right. Right.
working with unemployed, underemployed, and justice involved people. Before it was a community college in
Right.
its footprint.
Right.
So again, for God to have placed me, to have taken my mess, and to understand lived experience,
Right.
how people look at you different because of your situation.
Right. Right.
Well, OIC opened those doors and create those opportunities and those options for those to consider that would have been a person just like me.
Wow.
So I'm humbled to be in the space that I'm in, to work with the team that I work with. And last but not least, I'm going to say something that Mr. Blackwell said to me coming on board. He said two things I'll never forget. Never be afraid to go into the dark spaces.
Right.
And he used that term when he was pointing out the health locations
Right.
and where they are strategically placed
Right.
so that people that don't have transportation can still get to health care.
Right.
That's bravery, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, is Mr. Blackwell David, is he brave or Crackers? You got to be a little,
Yeah. Yeah.
think outside the box to be able to achieve a lot of the things that he has achieved.
Yeah.
So I,
When you're a pioneer, you're going to be called a whole
lot of things.
Not just crazy.
so, but yeah, I mean, and it's like I want to work around innovation. I want to work around those that think outside the box.
Yeah.
And the leadership team at OIC has been able to allow me to think outside the box.
Wow. Powerful. When we was telling you earlier, we sold some property and we purchased this space, and I was getting a lot of pushback from leaders that was saying it wasn't God and so forth and so on, man. But I've seen more doors open in terms of my effectiveness, right, since I've been here. So you just have to, once again, when you're a pioneer, if you're going out doing stuff nobody has never done. You're going into dark spaces, bringing light, right?
Absolutely.
And I believe that's the narrative of OIC, going into dark places and putting that light in those spaces. So that's amazing stuff, man.
It's good to be a part of it.
Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, my king.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we've been talking with the OIC Workforce Development Team, Mr. Greg Singleton. Listen, been a great conversation tonight. If you're over on Facebook, go ahead and hit the share button. I would greatly appreciate it. Listen, if you need to get in touch with the OIC here in Rocky Mount, you can call 252-977-3730, or you can email them at info@oicone.org, or you can just log on oicone.org. Check them out on the website. They are doing some great things in the city and beyond, and I'm excited to be in collaboration with what they're doing. So some great things are happening through the OIC. Once again, I just want to certainly thank my guests tonight for coming on. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And we just thank you. Great stuff. Really appreciate it. And certainly, I thank my friend, Mr. Reuben Blackwell. So listen, I am Matt Tillery, Advancing the Kingdom podcast. Until next Monday night at 7 p.m., go and advance the kingdom.
We pray you have been empowered and blessed by this teaching. Join us next week for the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. If you would like to reach us, email us at mltillery@icloud.com.